Hey everyone, David Lewis here, coming to you live from my home, shelter in placing, as everyone is throughout California, the US, and the world. Just want to give you guys a quick update, but I do apologize in advance if this is awkward. I'm not used to doing live videos. I don't even do videos much at all. So if this seems awkward, you know why. Um, but I wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's been happening in the real estate market since the whole shelter in place, because it seems like when I talk to people, I'm constantly getting questions about, what's happening with the market right now. Are people still selling homes? Are buyers still buying? Can you show homes? And I continue to get the same questions. So I thought I would do this live video to share with you guys what I'm seeing happening in the market right now. And then the second question that I get is, what's going to happen when this is all over? What will the market be like? Are we going to enter a recession? Is it going to be a hot market? And so I want to share some of my thoughts on that as well with you. But before I do, just a quick update on what I've been up to. Obviously, been staying home with the family. Have all three of my kids home. Natalie came home from LA, and Natalie, say hi real quick.
Hi.
That's Natalie. Many of you have met Natalie at some of our events. And Chris is here as well. Looks like they're looking for our little dog, Maverick. But there's Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hello.
And Margaret is coming in. She has been in the kitchen cooking dinner. Not sure what she's cooking, but
Yeah, this is Nixon, my creation. Where did we go? Zucchini.
we can't see it, but trust me, it's dinner.
Ooh, zucchini stuffed enchilada.
Okay,
Yummies.
that's terrific. And there's Nick. He's been in the kitchen helping Margaret cook what is going to be a great dinner. So what have I been up to? Well, we've done things as a family that we have either never done or haven't done in quite some time. One of which is family dinners. This is our dining room that I'm sitting in, and we're having family dinners every night now, where before it was lucky if we could get us all together once a week. So that's been one thing that we've been doing. The other thing is we instituted game night, which is something we would do maybe twice a year. And now we're playing games after our meal each night. And each night, a different family member gets to pick the game. So when it was Natalie's turn, I think Natalie picked Mexican Train, better known as Dominoes. I think Margaret picked this game, Left, Right, Center. It's actually not very good. It's quite boring. So I don't recommend Left, Right, Center. I picked one of my favorite games from the 80s, early 90s, Balderdash. So that's something we've been doing, keeping ourselves busy with games. We've also been working out. We were fortunate enough back in the summertime, I purchased a lot of free weight equipment. So we have a full free weight exercise area in our back patio that we've been working out every day. Also on our family game nights, because we rotate each night, tonight is Chris's turn. And for some odd reason, he picked a bicycle ride. Why he thinks that's a game, I don't know, but he's always loved bike riding. So we are going to go on a family bike ride for family game night. I'm sure many of you have been playing games, would love to see what some of your favorites are. We've also been watching movies together. I finally broke down, didn't want to watch The Tiger King at all. Finally decided, with everybody talking about it, we'll watch The Tiger King. So we finished that and watching some of our other favorite movies. I've also been using this as a time to study for my broker's license, which I've wanted to get for many years. So I'm going to come out of this shelter in place with a broker's license. But let's get to the nuts and bolts of what I wanted to talk about. And the first thing was, I'm getting asked on a regular basis, what's going on with the real estate market right now? Well, countywide in Santa Clara County, I feel like a news reporter with my piece of paper here. Houses have been going on the market during this shelter in place. In fact, in the last 7 days, there have been 229 new listings come on the market just in the last 7 days. Now, you might ask yourself, well, why would someone go on the market during the shelter in place? Well, part of the reason some people are doing that is people still have a need to sell for job relocation and other reasons. And the MLS has actually helped us out by freezing the days on the market. So normally when you put your house on the market, the days on the market continues to count. And the longer you're on the market, the higher those days become, the more potential buyers think that maybe something's wrong with the property. Why isn't it sold? Maybe it's overpriced. But with the MLS choosing to freeze the days on the market during this shelter in place, it's almost given sellers like a freebie. Hey, go on the market because your days on the market's going to be zero. And if we get a can't refuse offer, then we can take it and sell the property during the shelter in place. So that's something that's causing a lot of people to put their homes on the market. So 229 properties have come on the market in Santa Clara County in the last 7 days. And currently we have 243 active listings throughout the county, which includes single family homes, condos, and townhomes. Normally we would have close to 1,200 properties for sale. So the inventory is really low for obvious reasons. And there have been 138 price increases. That's right. You heard that. 138 price increases. People have raised their prices in the last 7 days. And we've had 85 price reductions. And 40 properties in the last 7 days have actually gotten into contract. So some agents, either via video or if the house is vacant, they're doing private one-on-one showings. And that has caused 40 properties to get into contract during the last 40 days. And 185 properties have closed, and about 82 properties have come off the market during this time period. So, long story short, there are still people selling homes. There are still people buying homes during this shelter in place, and everybody has to make that individual decision on their own. For me personally, I have actually taken 3 listings during this shelter in place. I have one client who's moving out of the area, actually 2 clients that are moving out of the area and need to get their home on the market and get it sold. And I have one client who it's a trust sale and they need to sell the property to settle the estate. And I have 2 other listings that are going to come on right after the shelter in place is lifted. But the interesting thing, for 2 of my properties, the clients and I decided, why not? Let's put it on the market during this shelter in place and let's see what happens. It's really almost like a freebie because the MLS has frozen the days on the market. So we did that with a property I have for sale off of Tully Road out there by Raging Waters. I think many of you probably know where that is. And we put the property on the market during the shelter in place and got into contract for full asking price within 7 days. So that's amazing to me that happened. Another property in the Cambrian area, we put on the market and got an offer the very first, actually within 48 hours, we got an offer over the asking price. We got into contract with the buyer. However, those buyers have since backed out. They got nervous because there was a death in the property. Seller died of natural causes. Wasn't anything out of the ordinary, unusual, but they decided for their culture that wasn't something they wanted. But it just shows you with those 2 properties, One sold for asking price within 7 days of being on the market during this shelter in place. And the other one got into contract, albeit it fell out of contract now, but one got into contract in 48 hours for over the asking price. So there are still people out there looking. There are still people out there selling and buying right now. Now, the biggest question that I get is what is going to happen when all of this is over? What's going to happen? Many people are thinking, oh, is it going to be a recession? You know, are prices going to go down? Is it going to be a hot market? And obviously, I don't have a crystal ball, but there's a couple things I can tell you. This is, of course, a very unusual circumstance that we all find ourselves in. And the economy was strong, jobs were strong, interest rates were low. Everything was strong as we entered this whole coronavirus situation. And we had a very hot seller's market here in the Bay Area leading into it. So it's my belief that when we come out of this and people can get back to work and resume life as normal, I think we're going to have an actual hot seller's market because I think inventory is going to be so low. And I actually had the pleasure of listening in on a call with Dr. Lawrence Yun, who's a chief economist here in the United States. And I guess if anybody's going to have a crystal ball, seems like it would be Dr. Lawrence Yun, the chief economist. That's what he does. And he is actually projecting that assuming we come out of this and we're all back to life as normal by summertime, we are going to have, according to Dr. Lawrence Yun, a pretty strong seller's market. And the reason for that, he cites, number one, interest rates will still be low. Number two, there's going to be this pent-up demand because there's all these people who are buyers right now who would have been buying, who want to buy, but they're afraid to leave their homes. So once this shelter in place is lifted, they're going to re-enter the housing market with gusto. Number two, sellers who have paused putting their house on the market or who have paused getting their house ready to go on the market won't be ready. And so there'll be a shortage of inventory. And then there's some unfortunate side effects of shelter in place. There might be, people getting divorced because they found out they can't be together because they're confined in a small place. So those will be houses that will come on the market. And also there's going to be people who have decided, man, this house is too small for us. We need something bigger. And so Dr. Lawrence Yun is projecting that we're going to have a very, very strong seller's market when we exit this whole shelter in place and put coronavirus behind us. Now, again, if anybody has access to a crystal ball, it's probably him. So I'm kind of following his guidelines, but we won't know for sure until we come out of this. It's clearly going to be hard before we get there, but when we get there, I think people need to be ready. And if you're a buyer that's been thinking of buying and putting everything on hold, expecting a recession or prices to drop, the signs aren't pointing towards that right now. So we'll see what happens. So that's kind of my summary, a little update on what's happening locally here in Santa Clara County, what's been happening with my clients. I do have several clients getting their homes ready to go on the market as soon as this thing is lifted. And then giving you sort of a snapshot of where things are looking like in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it wasn't too awkward since it was my first time talking to a camera instead of talking face-to-face people. If you have specific questions, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to answer any specific questions that you have. And who knows, maybe I'll do this again in another week. All right. Good seeing you guys. Everyone stay healthy and safe. Hope you and your families are all doing well. And we'll see you on the other side of this. Bye.